In this video, we are going to start the lesson Algebraic Expressions and Identities from Class 8 NCERT. We'll look at a few basic definitions related to algebraic expressions. Firstly, let's look at what an algebraic expression means. Rather than giving a formal definition, it would be easier to understand this using a few examples. Let's write a few expressions. So all of these are examples for algebraic expressions. Let's take a closer look at the second expression, 4x squared plus 3y plus 7. In this expression, you have x and y, which are called variables. So x and y are called variables. And you have numbers like 4, 3 and 7. So such numbers are called constants. So this expression here has just one variable x and the constant is 15. So that's variable and constant. Now can you give me an example of an expression with two variables? So you could write something like 2x plus 5y. So that's two variables x and y. So that's what you mean by an expression. Now let's understand terms, factors and coefficients. Consider the expression 7xy minus 3y. So this is an algebraic expression. And this is made of two terms. So the terms in this expression are 7xy and minus 3y. Let's look at another example. We have an expression like x squared plus 4x plus 4. There are three terms in this expression. So there's x squared, there's 4x and 4. So these are the three terms of this expression. So if there is a minus sign, you usually say the term is minus 3y. Okay. So that's the meaning of terms of an expression. Now you know that 7xy is the first term of this expression, right? Now 7xy is formed by multiplying 7 and x and y. Now these individual components are called factors of this term. So 7, x and y are the factors of this first term 7xy. And this numerical factor or the number in this term is called numerical coefficient. So this 7 has a name. It's called numerical coefficient or just coefficient. So coefficient is the numerical factor in the term. So if you look at a term like 4x, the coefficient of that term is 4. That's what coefficient means. Let's summarize what we have just learned. Consider an algebraic expression like 3x square y plus 2y plus 4. This is an algebraic expression. And the terms of this expression are 3x square y, 2y and 4. If you consider just this term, the factors of the term are 3x square and y. And for this term, the coefficient of this term is 3. Now let's look at a few more expressions. You can write an expression like just 3x. That's an expression. You could also write 3x plus 5. That's another expression. You can even write 3x plus 4y plus 5. That's another expression. This expression has only one term and that's called a monomial. So monomial is an expression with only one term. The second expression here has two terms, 3x and 5, and that's called a binomial. So that's an expression with two terms. Similarly, this is a trinomial because it has three terms. And polynomial could be either a monomial or a binomial or a trinomial, or it could even have more than three terms. So polynomial is a general term for an expression having one or more terms. One thing to note here is that a polynomial can have only variables with non-negative exponents. For example, you cannot have 3x raised to minus 2, for example. This is not a polynomial because the power of x in this expression is minus 2, and that's not allowed in a polynomial. So it can either be 0 or a positive integer. Finally, let's look at like terms and unlike terms. Let's write some expressions. 3x, 4x, 5x. So if you look at these expressions, you can find that all of them have the same variable x, and it's all x to the power 1. So the variables and their powers are the same. Such terms are called like terms. Let's look at another algebraic expression. Let's take a long polynomial. Let's say 2x plus 3xy minus 4x 5xy plus y. If you look at the terms of this expression, you have 2x and minus 4x, which are like terms because they have the same variable and the same power of the variable. If you look at these two terms, 3xy and 5xy, you can say that they are also like terms because they have the same variables xy and they have the same powers as well. So if this had been 5x squared y, they would become unlike terms because the power of x here is different. And finally, you have a term y for which you don't have any like term. So that's the meaning of like and unlike terms. Let's look at another example. 4x square y minus 3xy. Do you have any like terms here? You don't, because although the variables are the same in these two terms, this has a power of, so these two terms are unlike.